BC's carbon tax is in its final hours. Finance Minister Brenda Bailey introduced legislation Monday morning to scrap the consumer carbon tax
and set the carbon tax rate to $0 per tonne of emissions as of April 1st.
BC was the first in North America to put a price on carbon pollution in 2008 under former Premier Gordon Campbell. But leaders say it's become a political liability as British Columbians look for savings during an affordability crisis. The NDP government, which has a one-seat majority, took measures to make sure the bill could be introduced, debated, and passed in one day, so it can take effect by midnight. Since it relates to the provincial budget, the bill amounts to a confidence vote. If the bill fails, the government falls. Eby says it won't come to that.
We have a majority in the House. The bill will pass.
Forcing a law through in one day is a rare move, and one that didn't sit well with opposition parties.
The total disregard by this Premier and this government to take any substantive action on carbon tax until the very literally 11th hour of the conversation nationally.
The two Green MLAs said they would be voting no to scrapping the carbon tax.
The Green Caucus will be opposing this bill throughout the day.
Dropping the carbon tax to zero is expected to save drivers about 17 cents per litre on fuel. As for whether those savings will actually be passed on to consumers, Eby says oil and gas companies are required to explain their prices to the BC Utilities Commission to prevent price gouging.
Just a little heads up to the oil and gas companies, now is not the moment. British Columbians need to see that tax reduction show up at the pump when they fill up.
Eby has not provided details on how the government will make up the nearly $2 billion hole in provincial coffers. Without the carbon tax, lower-income families will no longer get the Climate Action Tax Credit. The move in BC follows Mark Carney's first move as Prime Minister, which was to bring the tax to zero on April 1st. Katie DeRosa, CBC News, Victoria.